Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here in the group stage, we're looking at Hyperglory Team versus Vici Gaming. The third game today for Vici Gaming as they're in this doubleheader here. Already taken it 2-0 over Dream Gaming. Now they're up against a more difficult opponent here, HGT. Still, Vici, they pretty much need no introduction. These guys are the top tier of competitive Dota 2. They are one of the best teams in the world and definitely considered the best team in China. So HGT look to dethrone that. It's here in 6.84. We'll see what they bring to the table, but it's going to be a pretty interesting opener for them. They first picked the Phantom Lancer, something that has been respectfully banned out by multiple teams, as this is just a hero that hasn't been nerfed out hardly at all. His power treads got +1 stats, otherwise all the other boots got cheaper. But really, otherwise, he has been pretty much completely untouched, and he is a very, very strong force to be reckoned with. So it's going to be fun to see perhaps ZSMJ on his legendary hero. For you guys that don't actually know about it, there was a game back in 2009 when ZSMJ played Dota 1, and he farmed a relic by 20 minutes, which is, you know, good. It's not amazing, but it's good. But he farms that Sacred Relic in 20 minutes for his Radiance. And then the Courier gets killed by like a Beastmaster. And back then, the Courier drops the item on the ground when it dies, and they destroy the Relic. But still, 7 minutes later, he buys another Relic at 27 minutes. And goes on to win the game as the Radiance Phantom Lancer. Like, to farm 2 Sacred Relics in 27 minutes is just insane. And ZSMJ might be back on that legendary hero. But we're going to see Air on his legendary Brewmaster, a game-winning combination if I've ever seen one. And we're going to see what Vici Gaming respond with. They responded to the Phantom Lancer, not with their standard Lion plus solo mid opener. They didn't go for Super's DK or Super's Invoker. They go with Gyrocopter Witch Doctor. So this tells me they really have a lot of emphasis on taking care of the illusions with the Flat Cannon, and also just really controlling their lanes well with this Witch Doctor. So we'll see how it pans out. Excited to see it, but it is going to be super on the Shadow Fiend this time around. How on his Gyrocopter once more, and obviously the support Witch Doctor is going to be contributing how he can on either FY or Fenrir. So we've got perhaps the ZSMJ Phantom Lancer coming out for HGT. Brewmaster, Air, I mean, he had a team, I think his Dreamtime was the team name, and Air was pretty much the only known player on that team. But the way he played Brewmaster made it so that that team could compete on a high tier level. And that was when Brewmaster was out of meta. Then he gets buffed, and then Brewmaster is just picked up all the time by everybody. But Air was the one to start that, even before the metagame shifted in Brewmaster's favor. He's just incredible on this hero, knows how to micro it perfectly, and excited to see him back on that one. And then, of course, we will see Kaka Pretty Ha looking for some kind of standard supports here with the Lion. I will say it's pretty interesting, though, that they don't pick up the Wisp. In 6.83, Kaka always picked Wisp if he could. If it wasn't banned out, Kaka would always pick Wisp. Wisp wasn't touched in 6.84 necessarily. In fact, Guardian's Greaves, I would say, is a good item buff for him. But I will say that if you're wanting to go for a different strategy that revolves around this Phantom Lancer, Wisp probably isn't the best way to go. So they go PL Lion, and that looks fine, but now we get to see Ice-Ice Broodmother. There is another support option, though. I mean, like right now we see Lion's already in the pool. He's okay at dealing with Brood, not great, but he's okay. And then if they get one hero that actually can counteract the Brood, they might be able to hold that top lane. So PL, Lion, and a +1, and I could see some real potential at actually just killing off Ice and actually preventing him from getting that infestation down in on the dire side.
10 seconds remaining.
There is the possibility, though, that they go for kind of a feint here. They go for the Broodmother, force out a support that would be dealing with the Brood, and then what they end up doing instead is they rotate lanes. And they go Broodmother, safe lane solo, and go for an aggro try. Gyrocopter, Witch Doctor, very capable of going aggressive with the right third support. And we'll have to see if that's on their minds. But what they're up against now is a Bounty Hunter from Hyperglory Team. Not necessarily the best against Broodmother. Track is nice, but I would have to say that the strength is just his potential to, you know, kill off isolated heroes. If there's anybody by themselves, for example, the Shadow Fiend farming mid and doesn't have a Sentry Ward to keep him covered, there's a really good chance for the Bounty Hunter to go in and just nab him one. So we'll see exactly if that's going to pan out, but I'm looking forward to this. I think that there's some good potential for HGT's draft, but obviously Vici Gaming, just by default, you have to give them the edge here. Just really, really scary. So I'm looking forward to this, guys. This is going to be really fun, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. I don't think I introduced myself, so for those that don't know me, I am Blaze. Happy to be able to solo cast this for this morning here. It's just some good Chinese Dota. It's been, over the past few weeks, some really good Chinese Dota. I've been getting a feel for it a little bit more, and I love the aggressive stance these teams take. Now at 6.84, the tempo is increased even more fervently, and here we see this pretty all-around awesome draft. Disruptor coming out here for Vici Gaming. Now a big aspect of that is that Disruptor counteracts Brewmaster with the silence, preventing split. But if they're getting ganked up by somebody like a Night Stalker or a Blink Lion or anything like that, they can definitely do that. I'm actually curious if they could stop ZSMJ from escaping from a situation via the Static Storm Kinetic Field. Because as it is, PL is really good at charging at you with the Phantom Rush passive, but it's not good for escaping. It only works when you're actually attacking an enemy. So for the most part, he'll still be kind of immobile up against FY. And that means that maybe they can get the Kinetic Field Static Storm around him, prevent the Doppelwalk, and pin him down. That would be pretty interesting to see. But I don't find Disruptor to be particularly powerful in an aggressive tri-lane, so I won't make any assumptions there. But we do see pretty much the full roster here in taking up their heroes. But this is interesting. XTT is picking up the Brewmaster, Air picking up the Night Stalker. It's a legendary combo, but I'm assuming that Air will give his knowledge and experience of the hero over to Westbrook, aka XTT, and we'll see what he can do with it. So, Air's going to be on the Night Stalker instead, going solo mid, looking for an early bottle on this hero, and we'll see what he can do with the Hunter in the Night. Let's go ahead and look through the team introductions here. Thank you guys once again for tuning in here. This is Vici Gaming versus HGT, game number 1 of a best of 2 here in the iLeague group stage. So, FY is going to be running on the support Disruptor, Sentries, and Dust already picked up to deal with this Bounty Hunter directly. Bounty's just going to go ahead and try to drop a ward to block out this camp most likely. He's got 2 in stock, so definitely 1 reserved for camp blocking, and we'll see where he can find it. Oh, nice one there. Really good ward. Anyways, we're going to find that Hao is going to be finding the safe lane here, looking for early Ring of Aquila on the Gyrocopter. The Fenrir Witch Doctor is going to do what he can in kind of a 5 position, I think. Might go for the Ags and go 4 position, but it's hard to say. Super's running on that Shadow Fiend with a Sentry of his own, courtesy of FY. And we do have Vice's Ice up here, looking at this Bounty run up top. As far as sentries on their side, ZSMJ does have 1. So we'll see if he tries to camp this web. Generally speaking, you don't want to place a sentry here, because that's 1 less sentry you have for the lane. So generally speaking, they just camp it. They try to make sure the Broodmother doesn't pick it up, because if she accidentally right-clicks somebody, then she doesn't get it. And they might even go for the Earth Spike just to make sure, but it doesn't seem necessary. So, Bounty Run's going to go to Super and Air, the solo mids, and we'll see the earlier bottle for the Night Stalker, and the Tango is coming out for Super. So they feel confident the Bounty Hunter is not going to try to snipe the Courier from kind of this spot here. Or they're kind of hesitating on it, but it looks like Fenrir is going to try to keep it covered. Anywho, what else are we looking at? So we've got all the callouts for Vici Gaming, it looks like. We're looking at the side of ZSMJ's Phantom Lancer up here, doing some good damage to Ice already with the Sentry Ward in play. And that's going to give him some difficulty, but otherwise Pretty Haw is just going to do some basic zoning here on the Lion. This leaves Kaka to roam around wherever he wishes, and of course XTT's offlane brew will just try to survive. Honestly, that's all you can hope for as an offlane brewmaster without a Fisher block back. It's really difficult to do anything positive in this lane. Just avoid feeding is really the key. FY will look to zone him out just with the Thunderstrike's right clicks, and that seems to be doing some good work here. And actually, I will note the skill build, actually, for offlane Brewmaster. Usually we see like 1 point in Brawler or 1 point in Haze, so the supports can't hit you as hard, because you're never going to get in range for that Thunderclap, unless they're tower diving you. So I actually think that that's might be a miss skill, but we'll see. In the meantime, Night Stalker already has his bottle just not only purchased, but ferried out to him, used, and on its way back home. Little baby Roshan trying to do what he can there. But still, 5 and 2 is the last hits. I think that he's kind of avoiding last hits with his nuke. In the meantime, Ice is just doing what he can up top. A slow roll towards like level 3 and 4 where he starts to actually control the lane. For now, he's just getting experience. Has a couple webs down. And it is important to note that... Oh, actually, Night Stalker, no, he's just getting, harassed back. Double raise combo against him, and obviously a lot of right clicks. But it is interesting to note the poor man's shield pickup for Ice Ice Ice. It is an agility hero, he benefits from that, as well as the block just as an offlaner. But I think the real strength of this item is the fact that it's just 50 gold cheaper. They nerfed the cost of Stout Shield, and therefore they also nerfed the passive aspects of it, but they never nerfed the poor man's shield. So really, it's not a bad pickup here for Ice Ice Ice, because 20 damage block, and it's just that much cheaper. It's only 500 gold. But we'll look for this courier. Looks like it's not going to be making that journey out into a ravine of hyenas. And we'll take it from there. So, I mean, Westbrook's at least going to get his boots out. That's a good thing. Stout Shield boots, pretty much your bread and butter for the offlane. And he's got that auto-evade now, so he's not going to be as heavily harassed by Fenrir. Observer Ward coming out for Kaka. He really wants this courier, but they're not going to give it to him. Not until Bounty Hunter shows. They're waiting for Bounty Hunter to show on the bottom or the top lane, and then they'll move the courier out. But Ice is Ice out of his webs, actually. And that's going to be a little frustrating for him. He does, however, have his level 3, so he can spin some more webs. The third one went up here, but the fourth one will go back out down here. So pretty interesting. Going to be some harassment against Ice Ice Ice, but he's still going to get the Soul Ring out at a pretty good time, it looks like. Back over to last hits, 21 and 6 for the Phantom Lancer of ZSMJ. Doing really well here. I'm probably going to go for the Aquila himself. And Bounty Hunter, roaming things around. So, yeah, the Flying Courier will do what it needs to do. And Kaka will just kind of keep moving about. Actually going to get caught out here under the Sentry Ward. They won't get the glimpse. They have to dust him. But Dust and Kinetic Field still enough to lock down Kaka for the first blood. And that's going to be just a pretty solid build here. But at Westbrook taking a lot of damage here. They're going to flak the tower, I think. No, they want a vision for it. If they got the Thunderstrike and put it onto Westbrook here, they could actually just right-click the tower or the creep wave, and the flak cannon would kill him. But he does have a small chance of evading those strikes, as well as, of course, they didn't have vision, so couldn't finish him off, and he'll just salve back up to high HP. Pretty Owl roaming in, level 3 Lion, very scary to deal with, but Super is pretty well known for staying in a safe position. Doesn't generally cross that line into enemy territory, and now he's got Disruptor support too, so maybe not the best play to go up against him. They're still going to try here. They see the Bounty Hunter now. The Kinetic Field comes out. Pretty Haw and Kaka. Everybody caught in this Kinetic on the outside of it, trying to get in. It's generally the opposite of how it works in most cases. But, yeah, outside looking in. They can't find the Shadow Fiend. And it's also a 1v1 matchup for Ice 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 now. Every moment the support spend for the mid lane is time for Ice 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 to farm up here. So the Bounty Hunter, the Lion, not accomplishing really what they want to, as now ZSMJ is going to be under a lot more pressure. No AoE capabilities to deal with the Broodmother spiders, and where I'm sure Ice Ice is going to be trading hits whenever he can, thanks to the extended HP regen. Yeah, one last hit is all he needs, and he'll get it. So now he has the Soul Ring out, and he gets more spawns as a result. So Spider Army is going to be built up now. 3-2-0 is the current skill build for Broodmother. We'll see if he goes for the ulti. It's pretty uncommon, but he has a bunch of spiders now. And that's going to be causing some real issues for ZSMJ, as you can see here. Oh, man, he's just getting taken out of lane completely. We are seeing this advanced roam, though, and this better work, because HGT are committing a lot to this movement down bottom. They've taken a lot of time to get here. The mid is diving. He's got a lot of armor, a lot of HP. Air can take a few shots, but with the rotation of all these supports, the Kinetic Field, the damage of the Maledict, they will lose at least one hero here. Westbrook's going down. Kaka along with him. And if it's just a 2-for-1 for the carry, I say that HGT are almost happy with that. But the fact that they committed a mid-rotation and left ZSMJ solo top this whole time to fight these spiders makes it a very bad play. And a very bad result, as it might cost them ZSMJ's life. Soul Rings off cooldown in 12 seconds. ZSMJ is going to have to limp back to base, and the spiders might still find him. Oh, ticking down to the poison. 50 HP. He will limp away, but even still, that is just incredible for Ice Ice Ice. A free lane for him. Just amazing start for Vici Gaming. They're going to be able to do so much this game. We already see 2,000 gold in their favor, experience as well, and Ice Ice has a free lane. He's going to start spreading into the jungle. He's going to look for maybe that Hand of Midas build to build himself up further. Obviously, you can still go for the classic Orchid. You can go for the Dagon Ethereal Blade, but I think the Midas is a good way to kind of secure that advantage and always keep building yourself up. Levels are pretty good for Broodmother, honestly. But bottom lane, we're going to see Westbrook caught out once again. The stuns come through. Nice rotation from ZSMJ. Carry doesn't have to rotate, but if it's to kill a carry, it's definitely worth it. ZSMJ doppling forward. One more Lance gets the kill. Great TP from ZSMJ. Unorthodox, but definitely worth it. Westbrook will also make his way away, so that's nice. But it's a 4-man commitment down bottom, so they've essentially abandoned Ice's lane. This is now his jungle, his lane, and we're going to see combat elsewhere. So Veteran looks like he's going to get the dust, but not the paralyzing cast. It's going to be the kinetic field to lock them out, but the shuriken does its damage too quickly. Super looking for the raises, almost gets them too, but they're just going to walk away here and have coverage in their retreat from the Night Stalker and the Lion. Meanwhile, at top lane, Ice, pushing down towers, fortification here, and essentially Ice is becoming a space creator because they're going to have to address his Broodmother presence here on the lane, and they just can't do one hero at a time to do it. If you look at levels, Ice is level 8. He's just spawning all these spiders, creating this army that just cannot be dealt with. And the end result is that if anybody goes up here to try to farm, they end up dying. You have to commit 2+ heroes, probably closer to 3 or 4, to actually deal with this Broodmother directly. Now we see Super. Oh, nice glimpse back. If not for that glimpse, Super would be running for his life, but instead he throws out a raise on the back end and is going to be able to bottle up Rune. Very nice glimpse coming out from the Disruptor there. And Vladimir's offering is going to be ZSMJ's build. So back over to the last hits. We see 50 to 21 is the Shadow Fiend start. Really good time in the mid lane since Air kept on rotating away. The Night Stalker felt he needed to make the first night worthwhile. And while that's all well and good, it does mean the Shadow Fiend gets to do whatever the heck he wants at mid. So top and mid lane 1 out by Vici Gaming. And then some heavy contest makes it 3 for 3 across the board. Now Hao builds himself up to 50 and 25. A lot of denies on the safe lane Gyrocopter, but just tries to keep his lane safe. And then, of course, ZSMJ 46 and 8, and Ice 32 and 1. So now, with that noted, we're going to go ahead and switch over to net worth, where we see there's now a 3,500, actually close to 4K gold advantage for Vici Gaming. And they're going to make that a little bit bigger as they pick off the Bounty Hunter in the Sentry Wards here. Nice call down play, but Air should be able to kill off the Gyrocopter. Yeah, last right click comes through, and that's going to be some good momentum back the other way. So they see all those cooldowns expended on the Bounty Hunter, and they're like, fine by me. We're going to go in, we're going to dive you, and we're going to not only kill off Hal, but we're looking for FY too. So good play there. If the glimpse hadn't been used on the Bounty Hunter earlier, they might not have found such a clean set of kills, but they do end up doing it, and Air tanks the tower so Pretty Hawk can live. He even gives him a bottle sip here. So that's fine. Back in mid, we do see a dust come out onto Kaka. Whoa, he drops quickly. Now Westbrook with the clap, now going for the split. He'll get a support kill, but can they get more? I think if Super sticks around, they might be able to Tornado, and then they're going to set up for another Spirit Lance here in just a second. But a lot of damage against the Brewlings, and actually they're all dead, but the Earth Panda, Pretty Hawk, going to go down very quickly, but they still are focusing the Shadow Fiend down. He will fall. Now ZSMJ caught in the spiders. Westbrook locked in position. Oh my, this did not go the way they had planned. Oh, double kill for Ice. A level 9 Broodmother just chomping at the bit here. Tier 2 tower under pressure. No backdoor protection. And Kaka, you get out of here. You stop with that nonsense. So Tier 2 tower is gone for sure. No deny, it looks like, even with the fortification. Oh, they do fort it, so they kind of have to deny it, but they're not gonna. It's gonna be the Broodmother to take it with the spiders. So 8 to 7 is your kill count. Is that 4 to 0 is your tower count? Yeah, 4 towers, including 2 tier 2s, is your tower count, and they see that word. Kaka, gonna get glimpsed back into the kinetic field, and that is gonna be him almost getting caught. Oh, wow, the raise! Oh, the max range raise, maxed out skill, is gonna kill off the Bounty Hunter just barely. Man, this guy, without Magic Wand or Treads, he has such a low HP pool. It's ridiculous. And we just see them just suddenly fly up to 5,000 gold lead, close to 3,000 experience. And the push down bottom. Pretty Hawk coming in, nice Earth Spike coming out. Gonna get the clap as well onto Super, and boom, goes to Dynamite with that Finger of Death. So, they're gonna be able to get one really good kill in exchange. This is the second time Shadow Fiend's died? Yes. So, good kills against him, but just against him. And ZSMJ, you're going to have to TP very, very quickly. You've got a lot of illusions to fight these spiders, but in the end, he just doesn't win this fight. There's the insatiable hunger on the Broodmother. She could take this fight all day long. ZSMJ just has to keep on the run. And he'll farm out a couple more creeps, but in the end, I think he has to TP right now. Oh no, it might not be fast enough. The ultimate from ice gives him the bonus damage to finish the job, and as I said, just TP away. Just don't give him the chance, otherwise you're just going to regret it. Oh man. Poor Phantom Lancer. But great play from Ice. I mean, he's just going to destroy this top lane now. Spreading the webs into next to the tier 3. He's probably going to start pressuring that since he realizes everybody else is down bottom. And he says, that's not my job. My job's supposed to be to force rotations, and the way I'm going to accomplish that is by hitting on the tier 3. Because eventually they're going to have to defend these racks. That's just too important to leave to Ice's devices. But so far, that's what they've done. And that's why I question the Bounty Hunter pickup so much. I think Bounty Hunter's graded 6.84. I think he's a very strong hero, good in a support role, but terrible against Broodmother. Just absolutely terrible. And this lane configuration tells the story. Ice has gotten 3 kills, 2 assists, 3 towers. I guess you could kind of count this tower as his as well. And the webs just keep on spreading. He manipulates them really well, and now he's got full control of this top lane region. And they just can't rotate. Oh, these little... Oh, the poor Spiderites. They're caught on the cliff. There are just wards now. They're just watching things from the distance. They can't get out. They can't escape. Sad day. Mama's sad. She's going to probably spin some webs and get them out of there. But we're going to see ZSMJ. It's hard to choose which one's the real one. They'll just go for the creep. And kind of go from there. Hey, they're good at D-warding. If they hang out up here and the sentry ward's there, they can D-ward. Pretty Hawk gonna get the air spike out. Now the Lance, gonna hit a spider, I think. Yeah, one of those spiders goes down, but Ice is fine. In the meantime, there's gonna be a kill. Oh, actually, that was the Orchid Soulburn. Wow. Okay, killing off the line. I was gonna look down mid where we saw the Bounty Hunter get killed off under the sentry ward, but didn't get the chances. There's just too much action on Ice's end. This is just ridiculous. He just got a huge draft advantage, and I mean, I really just feel like the Bounty Hunter was the mispick. TP away from ZSMJ. Now he learned his lesson. He won't give him the chance. But yeah, so Disrupt to kill the Bounty Hunter. Good glimpse into the Static Storm. All that good stuff under the Sentry Ward. Now Kaka! Oh no! Oh, the Sentry from Ice nearly kills off the Bounty Hunter too. That would have been sad. But yeah, I feel like, because the state of the draft when Broodmother was picked up was there was just a Lion on the field. A Lion plus a good anti-Broodmother support would have been doing a good job. But a Lion plus the Bounty Hunter clearly did nothing. They kept her at bay temporarily, but in the end, she runs them over. And this is just something you have to respect from Vici Gaming. Now they finally get a counter. Now they get the track, now they get the void, but can they get the kill? She has nowhere to run, no webs to run through, and yes, it's going to be a mega kill streak for Air. So this is where Bounty Hunter actually starts kind of semi-countering Brood, is because they always have detection against her. But if she buys certain items, she can take off the track, or she can just play more carefully when she thinks the Bounty Hunter might be nearby. So as it is, in the laning configuration, Ice has got himself a 7k advantage over 5,500 of anybody else. And that's the draft. But now that the Bounty Hunter's level 6, maybe he can start detecting her and convincing her not to push so heavily. In the meantime, there was a dire courier kill in the base. Looks like the Spiders were able to do one more dirty deed before the Brood goes into retreat. But down bottom lane, despite a couple of nice tracks here, we're seeing the tower get dropped very, very low, and they're going to commit to it despite the fortification. Oh, almost getting the deny, but the siege creep finishes it off. And you just look at these observer wards. High ground ward placed here, secret shop ward been here for a couple minutes, and this one here as well. So they have a great understanding of what's going on mid and bottom, and then Ice with his spider movement has been scouting out the rest. Yeah, and he didn't go for that farming build, the build that builds him up to level 16 faster. Ice ignores the Midas option and just goes for the Orchid. And it works out pretty well. I mean, killing off Lion is easy peasy, as we saw him die in the base. When you can't cast a Disable, you can't save your skin. This opens up Roche pretty well, I think, for Vici Gaming. Right now, if you look at their overall items, they got Mechanism, they've got Drum of Endurance, a couple of Urns of Shadows for some reason. They're looking to earn real money, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. It's just they pretty much just have to wait for Ice to force 2 people to go top, and as soon as that happens, they go for the Roche Pit. But we're gonna see right now. Smoke play come through, but under the Sentry Ward, they see them. They know that smoke is broken, but they don't know about Westbrook. Static Storm prevents the split, but Air is going to run around He's a 5-0 Night Stalker. He's looking to show it, but Hao forces him back pretty early in the fight. XTT gonna get nuked down, and that just makes it a 1-for-1 so far. The Witch Doctor died pretty early, but it can Night Stalker do anything here. They're chasing ZSMJ, they're chasing Pretty Ha. One is a very easy pickup, but outside the webs, Ice is so slow. So slow. He's not going to be able to run him down without the webs, and he doesn't have those for 19 seconds. So we'll look elsewhere. There was it looked like a glimpse attempt, but it looks to have failed. Maybe that was an illusion. Either way, Pretty Ha TP's out, and it is indeed a 1-for-1. Necronomicon on the gyrocopter, because why not? At this point, they have such momentum that they're looking to just kind of push an end, and these are the kind of items that they can do it with. It's not carry gyrocopter, it's utility gyrocopter. With the drums, the Aquila, and the Necronomicon, you've got a lot of push. You've got a lot of potential to just walk up to the high ground. And the cool thing is they can split push the bottom and top lanes really well with the Broodmother, since the racks are already exposed and chipped up. The unfortunate thing is, because the Brood has been making her rotations and using her web charges, Ice actually doesn't have that much in that position for his webs. Still, Hao going to be here with the Necro popped. They died pretty quickly at the base of the tier 3. But one good fight is all it takes to break the base, and they're not even picking up the Aegis to do it. Like, they could easily go back and do Roshan, but they're saying just to rat it out, to split push it from both sides, and put them under so much pressure they can't respond. And we'll see that here. Tier 3 already dropping down, losing about half its HP. That won't be coming back, and Pretty Ha might die. The creep, the damage over time, and the soul burn. Oh, dropping him down to 100 HP. So, needed a few more creep auto attacks, but even still, forcing the line back, bringing the tower down to 400. Just exploiting the fact that that glyph's still on cooldown for another 2 minutes. But eventually they will go to push out this lane here. Super flash farm central for him. He's able to clear this out and just rack up the last hit. It's going to be up like 120 plus here at 8, not even 19 minutes. Oh, Kaka walking past the Sentry Ward. They saw it, but is there any more detection here? Looks like they don't have any. So Kaka will actually be able to keep moving safely, at least for now. And Ice just wants to wait for him to walk back up. He is walking back up. He is back within the Sentry Ward, and they see him. But Ice goes for the cleaner harassment. Goes in on the creep wave. Actually, has to watch himself here. If there was dust, there would be problems. But FY's here in Viz as well. And it looks like they want to, if those were illusions, static kinetic them. But they are illusions, so just going to be at least chilling, and you can see they've kind of stagnated. They went for Necronomicon Gyrocopter, but they haven't gotten that tier 3 just yet. They need to get one kill, and then they can find their opening. So Kinetic, Static Storm, ZSMJ can't doppel out of this, and they're going to see which one's real very quickly. Calling down, locking him in. ZSMJ, the doppelganger does come through, but they've got the glimpse back. They've got the kill. So they'll kill ZSMJ and force a fight with this Brewmaster. On the back end, we're going to see Pretty Ha forced back by Ice, and now it's only the Brewlings. Air's in the fight. He pops his BKB, gets into it right now in the thick of things, and he is just on the run immediately thereafter. They have to retreat. They want to fight this. They get a bounce of the level 4 Shuriken, but it doesn't mean enough. Kaka on the run. He'll get out, but they waste the split. They waste their 10-second BKB, and they lose the Phantom Lancer. Couldn't find a worse fight for them. Just they didn't really want to take that engagement, but they felt so pressured when they knew that the PL was going to die. Here's the tier 3 going down. All that chip damage paying off, and now the Necronomicon comes out. That's Necro 1 from both the Gyrocopter and the Broodmother. Hao and Ice pushing these racks down. And the top lane's exposed. They'll just spread the webs to the north, and we'll see that cleaned up pretty quickly as well.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
So, right now, got everything they need. They still haven't used Super's BKB. That's 10 seconds of power. And there's not even a Brewmaster split to threaten them. They're going to Orchid onto Westbrook. Right-click him back. But Ice actually getting mech'd up, just barely saved there. That could have been a very tremendous kill. Still the big cast bouncing back and forth between multiple heroes. They'll split it, but the racks falling fast. This last racks would be pretty much their last legs. If they lose that, they can't get back in this game. And we're seeing Westbrook go right into Fenrir. Go in, right-clicking him down, but trading his life for the cause. And yeah, these racks are all they need. They'll focus them down. With this, they get it. But there's a glyph, so they can't focus it too hard. Kaka going down under the Sentry Ward here. Air popping the BKB. Their last-ditch effort. Committing to the fight in full. They're chasing them down. Killing off the supports, that's one thing. But killing off Super, that's another. Getting the silence, getting the void. And the mechanism is not off cooldown just yet. But it'll still trade hits. Air still falls. Pretty hard too. Oh my gosh. They killed the SF, but they're losing so much in return. Ice, barely alive. Gets out of ZSMJ's reach, and they will just push it with these last two heroes. How and iSize still kicking and still kicking ass. They're going to kill the racks. They're going to be taking a 4 racks advantage, and that's the GG from HGT. And in the end, an 18,000 gold advantage, a 5,000 experience advantage. Vici Gaming and mostly iSize and the Broodmother run HGT down in game 1 of this 2-game series. So, really strong showing from them. I mean, obviously, we saw some great play from Vici across the board, and HGT took a couple of really good fights. I mean, the Night Stalker got to 6-1-4. He was 5-0 at one point. But there's just too much pressure. They didn't draft well enough around the Broodmother. She did what she needed to do so that they could do the rest. And in the end, Vici Gaming take it away here in 22 minutes. The Tempo Masters are back. Death Ball push. It's not the only option, but it certainly is one. We've seen it multiple times over from Vici Gaming, and they played their style best. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure we're going to see more counters in the upcoming LAN events and stuff like that. I don't think that Vici Gaming's strategy is unbeatable, but people are going to have to very precisely counter it. It's become a game of chess once more. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to iLeague. Once again, this is season 3, and this is the Chinese qualifiers, and we're going to be going into game 2 of the same match, Vici Gaming versus HGT, in just a few minutes. Thanks for tuning in once again. If you enjoy the commentary, look me up on Twitter at BlazeCasting, and of course check out BeyondTheSummit.tv for all things BTS. See you guys in just a few minutes for game number 2.